All right, everybody, we're going to try something different today. It's not a live stream, but we're going to film a chunk of this game. I am in Waukon, Iowa, watching my first Iowa softball game of the season. I thought that I could take photographs and do the audio at the same time, and then I realized that's not really how this works. Anyways, we have Clayton Ridge at Waukon. It's the first game of a doubleheader. If I would have been taking photographs, I would have followed our hitter or our batter to second base. I'm down the left field line just so I can still shoot with this 400 millimeter prime lens. It's one of my favorite. As you can see, our shadows are coming, well, the home plate here ends up getting covered in shadow pretty early on. It does make later game, like the second half of the doubleheader, pretty hard to shoot. I've been coming here for, I don't know, 5-6 years maybe. Waukon is per hour and a half, hour 45 from home. But you get to know people in a place and you end up shooting and coming back time after time. I think they've had technically 2 different head coaches. This one that is here today, it's her second stint. I met her a number of years ago when she was down the road at MFL Marmac. So that's why I kind of keep coming back. You make relationships with coaches, players, and you want to show up again. Anyways, this is what I like to see, is this hill full of fans. Now today it's about 90 degrees outside, or it was at one point. It's really warm. But for a regular game, folks usually just come sit, hang out, and watch the game from there. The backstop area, if you can see, is actually pretty nice as well. The backstop itself is a little tight for my liking, but it's a pretty nice field. If there's any downside, it's really just that the home plate is covered in shadow most of the time. Anyways, Iowa opens their softball season and baseball seasons this week, I think, with games. They wrapped up state track, and last week I was being fed information about some of my local Iowa schools from that. It is Wednesday the 27th? It's the 27th of May. I probably have other things I should be staying at home to do, but one of my happiest places is to come across the river and to watch high school baseball and softball in Iowa. They play a summer schedule. They play, look at this, their first game, and it's 90 degrees. Think about our first games in Wisconsin being 40 or 50 degrees colder. Anyways, I don't want this to last too long, but again, we're just going to show some parts of the game. Maybe we'll see what the Waukon girls can do at the plate. I believe we're in the 5th inning, and it's something like 21 or 22-6 right now. I don't care what the score is. The whole point for me is to show up and to enjoy this. I love it. I absolutely love being here.
Top half of the 5th, the Eagles score 11 runs on 5 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on.
And if you ask me if there's a better place to be right now than watching softball or baseball or watching any sport, I'll tell you there probably really isn't. I kind of wish I could I had a telephoto lens on so I could, let's say, pull out, zoom out, and show you kind of the whole atmosphere. Maybe we'll do that later, but again, I was pretty convinced I could take photographs and narrate what I was looking at, and that just is not the case. Anyways, My trip here is a little more complicated than normal with the bridge in Lansing being out. So I went on Alaska, crossed into La Crescent.
Fourth for the Indians, first baseman number 3, Ruin Mappis.
Took some back roads, ended up outside of town. Had a real good talk with our newspaper buddy down here. He's been hanging out the entire time, just getting baked by the sun. He writes for the Standard, which is the paper that is based out of Waukon. It covers, I think, a number of eastern Alameda schools, eastern Alameda County. And honestly, I would never, ever, ever consider doing this type of a not live stream on a normal game. We just don't have the time. It's usually go, get as much as you can, but I've seen a lot. I'm sunburnt, I'm dried out. I'm gonna go up to the baseball game, which is happening up there. Okay, I missed a single. Sorry, everybody. Again, this is not a live stream, so by the time this gets posted, nobody will care what happened. But again, there's a baseball field up there. Varsity must play at 6:30 or 7, so I'll wander up there in between our softball games. I will enjoy a very, very, very late night drive.
Center fielder
If we do it right, we will see some snapping turtles, and then we'll get to save one, because this time of year they're moving. Maybe I could broadcast baseball, softball games. I would probably have to be a little bit more focused on the game than what I am now. But I also wouldn't be staring at the game through a 1-inch wide viewfinder like I am right now. Anyways, I'm ready to start summer. We have a big week this week with postseason. What do we have? Postseason. Let's finish the list. Softball started last week, but track started this week. Golf started this week. Tennis started this week. Baseball starts this week. Lacrosse is this week. I think girls soccer, some brackets might start this weekend. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to keep tabs on. So my head is typically spinning. I chose this game. I know I can come back over here later in the year, but I chose this game totally because I needed something that I care about. Something that I can be passionate about and not have to worry about a ton of work obligations to go with it. So again, we're making a
player number 17, Isabella Round.
Relatively pointless video, but if you're watching, you get to see what Iowa softball looks like. I love sharing it with everybody at home. I really do, because I think it's one of the Iowa baseball, softball, the Iowa summer sports season, to me, is probably one of my top 5 favorite sport things in my sports calendar year. I kind of wish we would do this in Wisconsin, but then I probably couldn't come here as much.
Pitcher number 16, Harper Brightspecker.
So if I was really dialed in right now and I was taking photographs, I would probably have the crop sensor on. I'd be out in center field. I would line up my shot so I'm looking right over the pitcher's shoulder.
Number 10, Haley Jaglow.
But again, we've got more. We've seen a lot here. I've seen a lot of runs scored. Most of them have probably been unearned runs, but I don't really care. Has it been an entertaining game? Again, think of it this way. If you're one of my followers in Wisconsin, you have been used to high school baseball and softball for a few months now. But these guys are just starting out. They just got done with their track season and probably their soccer season. If not, soccer's probably done in the relatively near future. So these kids are just getting started. I would imagine both of these teams are going to get better as they play. And you know what? One of my favorite parts. One of my favorite parts about it should be the game. It should be a 10-run rule game. So one of my favorite parts about Iowa is that they are not afraid to play doubleheaders. That's something that we are terrified to do in Wisconsin, and I do think our product shows. We are okay with putting 10 kids on a football field and making them play 11-man football, but we cry about putting our baseball and softball kids through doubleheader days. It's not necessarily an apples to apples argument, but still. Anyways, the game's over, so we're gonna end our not live stream. I hope you enjoyed watching some Iowa softball. Maybe we'll have a chance to do this again sometime. Should do it when I go to one of our key games. I love showing off those fields. Anyways, thanks for watching. This is a random video. Thanks everybody. Have a great sports day. From Iowa, this is Nate Beyer, GX3 Media.